This is Justin AMZN for Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Taking a look at the 5 minute here. We opened up pretty high up. Actually, no, we opened up around 1912. So we're inside, gap slightly down from Thursday, ran up pretty quickly, ran up. Actually, the first candle got most of the way there, went sideways, poked right up into 1925 with an inverted hammer and another one, and then broke down. And that was basically what happened today. It went down pretty much for the next 4 or so hours and eventually got a little bit of life back. You can see where it finally turned around. It was throwing some wicks a little bit lower than yesterday's low. And so those were bears pushing it down or trying to push it down a little bit more and getting trapped as the bulls were buying it back up. From there, I wouldn't even really call this a double bottom, although you could with this move back into the 21. Um, it's really just more of kind of a sideways stair step something. It'd be look better. It would be looking better on the 15 minute. And then the bears thought, oh, we'll just roll it over into the close. Nope, it had one of those one of those last few minute, last 20 minute, 15 minute rallies here into the close, which was really nice. So we still have held above the, we've still not closed below these candles, making this 4 candle pattern in here for the battalion of soldiers. So where we're sitting right here, it's pretty easy for this to roll over. All we need to do is have a little bit of bearishness come in, and we can get a really nice big bearish candle like this, even something like this that's indecisive. All we need to do is roll down a little bit more. Or if we get a bit of a gap up, that would trap more bears here and could push us back up into probably around 1950, 1960 in here, right back up into this this uptrend channel. So really need to see where things will be. Look, doing this video now, a little bit later on a Sunday evening, seeing where futures is opening up a little bit up and running up. So if we have some more strength coming in, I think we can get an open that's up, and I would love to see one above 1925. And that'll get us pretty quickly out of this kind of a range. If we do that, we could pull back, maybe back down into kind of this middle area, similar to where we opened up for Friday, 1912 area, 1915, somewhere in there, and retest that and then go. Let me draw what I'm thinking. So, if pre-market we do something like this, we're moving back up, great. We could keep running up, pull back some, and then go. Be looking to get in over here, 1915, 1920, something in there, or the initial run up to 1925 if we open up lower. Now, if we do have an open that's a little bit higher, say up here, then just shift this up a bit. But do look for that 1925 retest. I mean, we've had 1925 be a key level in here for a while. I don't think we'll just say goodbye to it instantly. We had some of the moves up over here where I was saying, I was calling this like a first retest of 1925. I thought we would at least hold it. We held it some here. This was kind of a secondary retest, but then we fell below it again. So if we have some sort of a redo of this, that could be coming, a redo of this, that kind of thing. Sorry, I'm not trying to zoom in on this. We have a redo like this. Let me see if I can get this to not zoom. There we go. We could do that same sort of thing, like over here, over the next day or two, and have some sort of a rally, some sort of run up if we have some strength coming in. And after weekend, maybe we will. We'll see what happens. It'll turn the 1925 range into a nice consolidation, just like it did over here. And all I'm really talking about is it kind of repeating itself, which things move in cycles, and sometimes Amazon does too. So if we jump down into some of the options, 1900 calls, we're just losing money all day long, right into the last 15 minutes, where it actually gave an opportunity for an absolute zero, getting in at one, and running up to being in the money by about $5-6. The actual close was 1906.59, so that would have been holding right into the close, which I don't like doing. Well, let me say, I'm getting better at doing that. I'm kind of forcing my muscle to do that a bit, my mental muscle to get in, or to be watching what to get out of at 258 central, and then definitely getting out 259. If it's not getting out, do it quickly. I haven't any broker issues with at that point doing that. I know that comes up sometimes. That's another reason to either have a couple stations open where you can access things in your account and be able to manage things quickly, because there's not enough time for a phone call or something. If you want to call the broker and say, hey, this didn't work, get me out, it's like, nope, just leave the order, let the order go, make the order do what you want it to do, get out a good price. So it's like, if it's coming up in here, and I think, oh, all right, it's going to move up into 5, it's probably better at this point if I just set an order out here at 455. Didn't quite get, oh, it did get to 5 here, but if I'm seeing I'm not getting filled, rather than holding, and I know this isn't the last minute, but rather than holding, letting it move away and lose all that premium, just get out. Just get out of it. You can get out of it a little bit below a pivot. That would have been probably 425, 4, somewhere in there. But that would have been a great gain going from 1 to 4. If we look at the puts, now the puts we were going bearish all day, so the puts were making money. Had a lot of great opportunities. We actually held pretty well with some levels. We had a hammer here, a really small consolidation here. I can draw that straight. Nope. Still trying. Hey, that's pretty straight. Okay. Really nice consolidation here. Really buying right at 3. Getting in at 3x2. This is one of those days where you really just stepped through each of the dollar increments. So 3x2 here, 4x3 here, anywhere along here, 5x4. No, drop the drawing tool. Nope, it's not drawing again. Okay, you get the idea. It's not working for me to draw again. All right, so getting some dollar increments. So even if you miss this initial inverted hammer, I mean, you wouldn't have been trading the hammer exactly. You would have been trading after it and getting some much better prices. So doing 3x2 here. Easily taking profits up around 7, the high of this, although it just kept on going. 7 was another, like really every dollar increment. So 3x2, 4x3, 5x4, 6x5, 7x6, and then it gets a little more difficult as it starts really moving. 8x7, I don't know if 8x7 would have really worked. 9x8 would have worked here, and then 10x9 would not really have worked, and 11x10 no. So for the first few dollar increments, it worked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8. So, or not 8, sorry. And then once it gets up here, I mean, you're past the 1900 price. If you're honing in on Thursday's low, well then, okay, maybe you're holding up here. But even if we look at this, you weren't getting back up to the later in the day low from Thursday. You weren't even getting back up to this, I'll call a shoulder, like this is an inverted head and shoulders here. Or I'm sorry, a head and shoulders, not inverted head and shoulders. You don't even get up here. So it's like, okay, just, you're not, I wouldn't have held to 14 looking for the previous day's high when this is already moving past 1900. I probably would have been out around 9, or maybe once I saw it was, well, if I wasn't out here at 9 and I was still in, probably, and seeing that it's getting into 10, probably would have set it at 11. Probably would have set a target at 11. But again, that's just getting an idea of how this is going to move. We had the first touch of the 21 way up over here. So it makes sense that it's going to push back down a little bit. This has been a support zone, but we pushed through it. We pushed through it just on Thursday here. And so for it to do that again, even push a little further, sure, but don't be counting on that. Take some gains as it's going. But that would have been a nice way to play this um, bearish to get into the 1900 put. You started way out of the money, which was great too. If you go further out of money, and we've got only every 10 for the strike, so we can go to 1890. And you can see this was much flatter. You had around $2, but you had some really wide ranges. So 2 by 1.5 could have been working fine. 2 by 1 would have been easy. 250 by 150. This still would have gotten about the low 250 by 150. So you can still, even though it's another $10 out of the money, you can still get into something here and just ride those incremental waves on. So this one got to be right at the money, right at 1890 here. So that's one that you definitely would have wanted to get out of as soon as it's making some of these spikes up, like at 550, 6, even maybe 2. And then if you go out it's another strike on the options that are available. But 1880, which we've got a line at 1880.05, this gave you an absolute zero from earlier in the day. So get in at 1, scalp it for 2, you're done. You got in and out of that in like half an hour and you're done. So even doing something like that, it could have worked as well. So anything bearish early in the day worked, and then bullish really only worked right towards the end of the day. Something like this. And even so going the other direction, like 1910, that had a little bit of a spike here. Now that's a false wick. That definitely didn't happen. But it moved up. I think I was looking at down at like the 1 minute. Let's see. The 1 minute showed it a little better. So this, so that's a false wick, but this moved up really close to 1. But you would have had to be getting in over in here for like 0.2 or something, and it goes up to almost 1. So that's like 5 times. But again, it was so much better to be just trading the 1900 and not be dealing with something so cheap and literally cheap. So this gave you some opportunities, a few minutes of opportunities. Again, we're on the 1 minute to get in 1 by 0, so absolute 0, and then it runs up. And this is where, okay, you should already have your target set. Like if you're just looking at scalp, get in at 1, get out at 2, done. Get in at 1, get out at 3, done. Holding to 4, now it doesn't normally happen in a single minute like this, but it did. It went all the way up to 4. Great, get out. But if if you're in this and you're like, okay, I just want a little bit more, you realize you're risking a lot. It could go all the way down to 0 still, and you should at least move your stop up to like 150 too. Try and lock something in. Even if you get some slippage, you should be positive, and then having then you can play with your target a little bit, but at least lock something in. Or if you're in a couple of these and you got a bigger R than $100 risk, then you can get in and out of these, and have the one get out of pay for the trade kind of thing. But this one made a nice move right back up into the pivots here, right around 450. So that would have been a really nice target to have just by looking to the left. So it would have been a $4 price or $3 price. Those would have been great places to aim on that move. So some ways to play it bullish, ways to play it bearish, and we'll see if we trap a lot of the bears in here. If we get a move up on Monday, there'll be bears here that are trapped. There'll be bears here that are trapped. The last 2 days have been really small, really indecisive compared to what we've done. We've had some alternating going on. So we had bearish, bullish for this candle pattern, and then it went bearish again, and then we had a bigger gap and it switched back. So we went bearish, bearish. Maybe we'll get a bullish candle tomorrow, Monday. So we'll just have to wait and see. Hope that helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.